Living Waters presents On the Box.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the November 10th edition of On the Box. You'd be amazed at some of the primping that goes on.
The whatting?
Primping?
I don't know.
Primping.
You mean
P-R-I-M-P-I-N-G. Primping.
thought you were talking about printing.
No, not printing. Primping. You know, fixing...
Oh!
Fixing your mustache and hair and things like that.
Shirt and turning down the collars. And it's almost ritualistic.
Is that preening? Is that what chickens do? Or
If
something?
we had a beak, I think it would be
Yeah, preening.
But God didn't make us with beaks.
Cats lick their paws, you know.
Yeah.
Scotty's in the house.
Whoa!
Talking about cats
Preening.
their paws.
Preening and prepping and all those things. Wait a minute.
The
How's
cat
that?
mouth. I hear the cat mouth is like 400 times dirtier than the human mouth, and the dog mouth is like 400 times cleaner. So I've even tried that to get Maria to allow us to get his dog. Honey, the dog mouth is 400 times cleaner than ours. Whatever it licks, it cleans. That doesn't work.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know where I
No?
heard that stuff too.
Really?
Yeah, how can it be?
You don't believe it?
I don't believe
I
it.
believe it.
But you know what? If a cat bites you, you are more likely to get an infection than
I
if a
see
dog
nodding. I
bites
might be
you.
wrong. Yeah,
I
just
lived on an Indian reservation
Oh,
when
Scotty,
I was
tell-
a kid.
tell-
And the Indians would, if they got a cut, I actually saw this. One girl cut her foot, and the parents told her, let the dogs lick it. And they...
As a form of punishment or healing?
No, as a form of healing, because they have something in their saliva that kills the bacteria, and that's how they.
Hey, we're
that's
talking.
how they do it.
We're talking Bible here. Think of the Lazarus at the gate.
Thank
the
you for bringing us
dogs
back.
licked the wounds of Lazarus, and maybe that was a therapeutic thing. Perhaps we should start.
Or they were getting ready to eat him.
No, perhaps. Well, it's confirming what Scotty was saying. Perhaps we should start a new sort of medical thing. Just take this dog's saliva
You know
and
what?
come and see me in the morning.
What is it that when Easy works from home,
Everything goes crazy.
well, that we come up with these great ideas?
I'm going to ask, if we go back to Scotty. Scotty, can you tell us about this time you went over the front of a horse when you're on the Indian reservation?
That was. Well, this was also on the Indian reservation, and we had our own horse, Sugar Babe.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Your horse was named Sugar Babe?
Sugar Babe.
Sugar Babe.
That's
okay.
right.
All right.
That's to add a little validity to the story.
Okay.
But I used to ride it bareback, and I would hold on to the mane and prided myself on that. While I was showing one of my friends, an Indian boy, how I was doing this, and ran down the road and tried to stop right in front of him. Well, Sugar Babe stopped so fast that I slid right up onto his neck, and then he dipped his head like that and threw me right down on the ground right in front of my friend who I was trying to impress. And I did impress him quite a bit with that one.
All right, so On the Box is a show about evangelism, and thus far we've covered the
Dog
germs
saliva.
in cats and dogs' mouths,
Yeah.
and Sugar Babe, the pony.
But think of all the Bible sort of springboards we've got from that. That's some good stuff there. Let's carry on.
Okay, we'll carry on. We want to say a congratulations to our friends, Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, who are expecting baby number 20.
And we've got a gift
We've
for
got
them.
a gift. Ray, show them what they've won.
Show me the money, whatever that is. Look at that. I'm giving one of my
180 baby shirts.
one of my shirts as a gift. These are new.
Before he
Living
stretched it out
Waters,
with his biceps there.
Yeah. So we're very excited to get these.
They're going to be what, about $10?
They're a
And
little expensive because we got a small quantity because they're small shirts because no one here thinks they'll sell. But I love them. I think they're great. So we'll
All right, so
have
we
them
have
up
a
on the-
limited supply. Those should be online either later today or tomorrow morning. Help Ray to prove everyone else wrong by buying your baby a 180 shirt. What a great conversation starter, too,
Well,
with
hang on a
your
minute.
baby.
What are we going to send this to? That's 9 months before they have the baby. We can't wear it.
Well, the shirt's not going to shrink or...
I suppose you're right. Yeah.
The baby will grow into that.
Yeah. Okay. Eventually. A couple of years.
Okay, we got to get going because we got a lot to do. All right, we promised you yesterday that we would tell you what we've been doing the last couple of days. Ray, what have we been doing the last
We
couple of days?
gave out, we decided to go to Beverly Hills High School and outside that school give out copies of 180, and we know that's touching the apple of the eye of the world because that's future actors and leaders in the entertainment community. And also we wanted to get these kids to take home 180 to their homes, to the leaders in the entertainment industry and we had a great time.
doctors and
Doctors and lawyers, and it was very, very well guarded. Beverly Hills High. You did a little stakeout.
Did some recon that went very, very well. Proved to be profitable. I developed an informant who will remain nameless for his own protection.
Yeah, God bless him. What a
Yeah.
wonderful guy.
But we didn't stop at Beverly Hills High. That was Tuesday. Steve Sanchez led a small band of merry men out there to Beverly Hills High. Yesterday, where
he
did we
could
go?
give snow to Eskimos.
And he probably has. Yeah.
Yes.
But yesterday, we continued the project yesterday.
We did
A couple
Hollywood
more.
High School and
Burbank
Burbank
High.
High School, and that was a great time too.
Yeah, so at least a couple thousand DVDs went out. And the reason we picked those schools, as Ray mentioned, is because there are a lot of people in the movie industry in front of the camera and behind the camera whose children attend those schools. There have been some notable graduates from all of those schools, and they are some high-profile schools here. And we've already seen the Anti-Defamation League respond, and we think it's come as a result of that.
Little kick of the hornet's nest there. That was the guy that took a bite out of it.
Battle damage. One kid at Burbank High took a DVD from one of our team members, opened it up, and snapped it in his face.
Wow.
Had an interesting run-in with security guards there. I'm handing out some DVDs right in front of the school. We're on public sidewalk. Everything is, we know we're there legally. And I hear noise behind me, and one of the security guards is picking up my boxes of DVDs like he's going to take them away.
Wow.
Yeah, and I said, hey, put my stuff down. Quit touching my stuff.
Wrong guy.
And he said, oh, well, I don't see your name on the box, and it's not in your hand, and so possession's 9/10 of the law.
Whoa.
And I said, 9/10 of the law, huh? He said, well, I was a deputy sheriff for 20 years. Drop it. Put down the box. Quit harassing me. We're here legally. Get away from me. And then he stood like this in front of me with his back to me, trying to block the kids from me.
Whoa.
And so I just worked my way around him. And then Burbank PD showed up because a couple of parents were complaining.
Wow.
And they wanted to make sure we weren't distributing pornography or something like that.
That's fair enough.
And, yeah, it is fair enough. And as soon as they realized what we were doing, they said, hey, you're on a public sidewalk. You guys are fine.
And we've got a letter from the Alliance Defense.
Didn't even have to use it
Wow.
with them
That's
because
great.
they recognized that we had a right to be there.
And also, according to the Holocaust Museum, 11 years old, this is the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C., 11 years old is the right age to begin education on the Holocaust. And same with the Jewish Holocaust Museum in New York, they say exactly the same thing. And we're starting in our own backyard and moving across the country with the help of laborers.
Right. And we want to thank those who did help us over the last couple of days. Not only was the Living Water staff out, but we had volunteers, Steve Sanchez and his team at Beverly Hills High.
Yes.
We had some friends of the ministry go out with you guys to Hollywood High, and I had a team of 5 other people. 2 of the people on my team had never seen 180.
One on mine hadn't either.
Really?
Yeah, Greg Krause was with us also. He's seen it, obviously.
Yeah, and so
He's on it.
He is, yeah, you can hear it when you're arguing with the Nazi, the
Mr.
neo-Nazi.
Blurface.
Yeah, he's open air preaching in the background. So
I've often wondered if people are going to tune out their screaming neo-Nazi and just listen to Greg's gospel message. He does say some interesting things, but it's hard to concentrate on what he's saying.
Yeah. All right, hey, I want to talk, share again this week's giveaway real quick. I want to get to Scott. Yeah, I'm skipping around a little bit. I'm calling an audible. It's 4th and long. I want to make sure that. Oh, pictures.
Fix your mic.
Fix my mic. All right, I'll fix my mic and apologize to Danny. 3 or 4 times we've sent Danny sets of pictures from Hollywood High, and I never even bothered to cue him. So here's a few pictures from Hollywood High. There's Hollywood High.
That's it.
How long is it going to take? Okay. Now that is a kind of an old security guard there, huh?
It is, and that's, who's that?
That's Diane.
Diane, and that's Jeff
Diane,
standing
Jeff
next
and
to him.
Diane.
Jeff is a,
Not
you
from
can
the song.
see Jeff, that he's a aerospace engineer.
Very, very sharp guy. So, Mark Spence, the illustrious Mark Spence, who is not with us today. 1, because Scotty's on today, as he has been on Thursdays, and 2, he's working feverishly on an instructional
Hold
video
it
that
there.
we're going to put up on YouTube. Hold it there!
There's a Brad Snow sighting.
There's a Brad Snow. Where's Bradley?
We'd
There's
like to
Bradley.
have him sometime as a guest on the program, perhaps in the future if he qualifies.
Yeah.
You've got to have a certain IQ.
Oh, so cool.
Very low.
All right, okay. All right, we're going to move
Excuse
on.
me?
Yeah, just move on. Just run through those last few real quick.
Low IQ.
You have to be a low IQ.
To get on this
Well,
program.
That's the only way I got on.
That's a great shot.
That
I
is
love
a great
that.
shot. Freeze. Take this. No, take this.
Is
All
that
right.
what you're saying? Freeze, take this? She loved our television program.
Yo, there was a student at Burbank High. Her name's Tatiana, and and I'm handing out 180, and she takes 180.
Wow.
I said, "Oh, you familiar with it?" "Oh, yeah, I've been sharing it with all my friends on Facebook."
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I thanked her, and I said, "Yeah, I'm with the organization that produced it. My name's Tony." "Tony, you're Tony! I follow you on Twitter."
Oh, she didn't know.
She was so sweet.
Oh, how
Yeah,
neat.
very, very sweet. So in addition to Maria, my 3 daughters, Tatiana is a fan too.
Oh, that's
So,
great.
Yeah, so that was kind of. All right, let's go. All right.
Oh.
First prize for this week's giveaway is the hardcover edition of the New Evidence Bible. Hang in there, Danny. Hang in there. We're going to calm down in a second once we get to
Is
Scotty's
it coming
segment.
up?
The New Evidence Bible is first prize. Second
It is.
prize. There's the first prize. Second prize. 180, Changing Hearts and Minds About Life's Hot Button Issues by Ray Comfort. Very important book. Get one. You'll get one for free if you participate. Third prize, 1 pack of 180 gospel tracts. Email us with your full name, your address, and your zip code. Email us only once this week, and we will announce the winners on next Monday's show. Keep the questions coming. I got a lot of good questions from Twitter and Facebook.
Good.
Yeah. So, and we're putting together a special show for tomorrow, and I'll explain a little bit more about that at the end of the program.
Got to say something.
Go right ahead.
Make sure you get next Monday's update via email, because it's got the details of how we're going to try and come across the country.
How would we do that? Go to livingwaters.com.
Oh, yes. Good thinking, Danny. Go to livingwaters.com, and you'll see up there's a little flashing thing that says update. Click on it, and because we can't just send it to you, you've got to sign up for it.
Yeah. And so,
It's
again,
a spinning envelope.
right, Mark's working on that video right now, and it's going to premiere in the update, give you some great tips for effectively doing a 180 giveaway outside of the high schools in your area. So please sign up for the weekly update and get a lot more great information from the ministry as well. livingwaters.com. Scotty!
Yes.
Time for the Exodus case.
Yeah, so we're going to get into this right away. And I just want to apologize. It has its own audio, and I literally recorded this within the hour. And so we'll just leave it at that, and I hope you enjoy it. Go ahead, Danny.
All right. Well, we're at Mount Sinai today, and I'm going to try to show you from Google Earth and to bring up some pictures. There's so much to see. It's just fascinating. But this area here is the rock or the peak. Let me see if I can get to that one. This very jagged. These are huge stones here. This is where the almond tree is, and here it is here. And these huge stones, a person would only be about that high standing up there. And this is that area that I'm trying to show you here. Here is the valley. Mount Sinai is up here. Let me just pull out for a second so you can see this. Here's where they crossed, and Mount Sinai is here. Here's the Sinai Peninsula. And so this is where Israel camped before the Mount of the Lord. And here's another picture. One of the fascinating things to me about this is Ezekiel also fled to Mount Horeb. And if this is Mount Sinai, the real one, then there would be a cave, and there is a cave here. This is looking outside the cave, looking down at where Israel would have camped. And so that would be looking down this way. Some of the significant finds in this area, one would be a plateau. These are the rocks again, but from the backside, a plateau where 74 of the elders and Moses and Aaron stood and met the Lord, and the Lord showed himself to them. That would be in this area here, a plateau area. Notice also that the mountain itself is very black and dark. Let me show you a picture of that, how stark it is. And when God descended upon the mountain, it was like a fire, like a furnace, it's described. And here it is here. Over here is the area I've been showing you. Again, this is the peak and Mount Sinai in the back. Here it is again. This is the camp of Israel. And this is an interesting picture. It's showing there was a great deal of water here, and it would have flowed down the mountain through the canyon and collected in a lake, and there wasn't necessarily an outlet, but there was plenty of water for the cattle and the people. 2 million people takes up a lot of space. Again, here's the cave, here's the rock and the almond tree. By the way, this is a cleft in the rock. I don't know if that's the place where Moses was hid and God passed before him. Here's the backside. This would have been that cleft. So here's a really interesting find. If you zoom down here, Moses was told to build an altar. And let me see. I can turn some of this on. And lo and behold, right here, can you see this? This is an altar at the base of the mountain. And this is all Holy Land. This would all have been designated as holy and not able to cross the line. There is an interesting picture here that shows these boundary lines. We don't know if that was the boundaries that were set. They are these inscription stones that could have marked the boundary. And that would be all along here. This whole area is fenced off by Saudi Arabia. And here's the fence, and they have a guard station there, armed guards. They keep it pretty close. There is another area that I want to show you real quickly, archaeologically. See, this is a fence. And this pile of stones here, golden calf, it shows, well, these are rocks, this is the fence, and these are inscriptions of a calf on these rocks. Here's another one. This is the fence around it. These are the stones, and this is likely the area where the golden calf altar was built on top of this. It would have been in the midst of the camp. Moses, by the way, would have seen it. Let me see if I can get over here and show you from Moses' perspective as he came down the mountain. It would have been this area over here. That's it there. So all of this is fascinating. For the sake of time, I'm going to cut this a little short, but just to give you an idea of what you can do with Google Earth when you're exploring this area. And these things are real. And it's been so fascinating to take a look at all of this and realize that we can, with this new modern technology and the internet and Google Earth and all of these things, come here and visit these locations, show it to our children, become very excited about these things. And like I've said before, if you look in the right place, you'll find all kinds of evidence.
All right, so Scotty's got one more session. Scotty's going to bring his Exodus case study to a close next week, so you won't want to miss next Thursday as Scotty rounds out and finishes off this study. And Scotty, we've appreciated you taking so much time. I mean, it's you don't throw this together in a minute. It's a lot of study, and so we appreciate your time doing that.
Do appreciate that. I appreciate Scotty.
Yeah. And while that was playing, I mentioned to Scotty, it's supposed to rain on Saturday.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
60% chance of rain.
Yeah, no, that's the counsel of godly. You take no notice of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in Southern California, and every time I kind of count on the weather to save me from having to do open air preaching, it always lets me down. And God clears the skies, and I have no excuse at all.
Scotty and I are texting back and forth. Do we or don't we go? And it's just crazy. But we always go, almost always go, and it turns out great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because I was thinking about calling an audible for our team, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until Saturday morning to determine whether or not we're going to go out.
Psalm 1.
Psalm 1.
Bless the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly.
Okay. All right. All right. Wow, the show's really slipping away. At what point?
What do you mean by that? Him going downhill? Or time?
No, just time.
Okay.
Time waits for no man, including us. Viewer asks, at what point do you shake the dust off your feet when evangelizing?
Boy, that just, you have to make that determination. If a guy's spitting on you and blaspheming and just won't listen, take a walk. That's what I do.
Yeah. If it gets to the point where it's obvious to you that the person's not interested in a conversation, they're going to try to justify their unbelief by trying to stump you with questions. Don't cast your pearls before swine in that case. I mean, I like to try to err on the side of caution.
That's exactly right.
I would much rather share the gospel than not. But if all indicators are obvious that this person is not interested in the gospel and they're trampling under their feet the blood of Christ, no gospel for them. Be polite. Say, hey, I'm going to move on and talk to someone who actually wants to have the conversation.
Sometimes I've had people yell out, "This is preaching to swine," when some guy's heckling me and there's about 100 people listening, and they don't realize that I'm not preaching to the swine. I'm speaking to the 100 people, the sheep, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Swine.
Yeah,
sheep.
well, ultimately we don't know. We don't know who the sheep are. We don't know who God is going to save. And we use those hecklers to draw in other unbelievers who God maybe has ready to hear the gospel. So the fact that one person in a crowd is maligning the gospel and trampling under their feet the blood of Christ, there might be others there who are primed by God to hear the gospel.
A good swine can draw a good crowd.
That's right. That's right.
Scott, are you going to say something?
Just that it is a different dynamic in open air preaching, but there's a certain discipline in allowing things to let go of it instead of saying, well, I got to get this in. And you preach the gospel, you preach the law, and you let it go.
Yeah. All right, how can I properly maintain friendships, someone writes? How can I properly maintain friendships with lost people in order to have opportunities to evangelize? Now, the church, by and large, at least in America, is teaching people to go out and establish relationships with unbelievers, but never getting to the gospel.
Wow.
What's a healthy biblical way to maintain relationships with unbelievers
I don't know if it's biblical. Buy them things. Just little gifts and send notes and cards and show kindness.
It's not bribery. It's kindness.
Do you witness someone? Just show them tremendous kindness. Get them a gift out of the blue when it's not their birthday or not Christmas, and it shows that you love them without any other motive.
Just whatever you do, don't buy into the lie that's being propagated out there, sadly, in many churches, that you have to earn the right or you have to get permission through relationship in order to share the gospel with someone. There is not a shred of biblical support for that thinking, and it ultimately just leads to people not sharing the gospel.
You know what? That's a lack of understanding of the spiritual state of the unsaved. They're drowning, and you don't have to earn the right to save someone from drowning or throw a rope to them. It's crazy. So they don't know. They don't. If you make the gospel a life improvement, then you need to earn the right, because you're just going to bring another something to them to help improve their lives. But if you understand their state, that they're drowning.
Yeah. Would you ever walk up to the end of a pier, seeing someone obviously drowning out in the water, and you see the life ring or a life vest there, and do you shout out, look, we don't know each other well, we hardly know each other at all, I don't want to offend you, I was thinking about throwing you this life preserver, but no strings attached, no obligation, I don't want to force this life preserver down your throat.
Yeah, so throw them a hamburger to eat while they're drowning.
Remember that video?
No.
Oh, Bart McCurdy our friend Bart McCurdy did a video like that, where there was a guy standing on the shoreline throwing a drowning guy hot dogs. Going, hey man, I love you bro, man, here's a hot dog for you.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, it's kind of funny.
All right, when others take God's name in vain. A parent on my son's soccer team is constantly using Jesus' name as a cuss word. How do you suggest I bring this up with them, share the gospel, and yet preserve the relationship?
Yeah, you may not preserve the relationship, but I would. I'd get him aside and say, I hope you don't mind, but you're using offensive words in front of my son. And you may not see them as offensive, but I do. You're using God's name as a cuss word, and it's just like someone using the F word in front of little kids, as far as I'm concerned. And I'd be very grateful if you'd consider us and not do it.
Yeah. Let's change the scenario a little bit. The person says, my son's soccer team. Okay, so let's presume that this is a soccer mom. Oh, no, soccer dad. Better yet, soccer dad. You're there with your son, and you hear someone else, another parent, using your wife's name that way. Mm-hmm. How concerned are you going to be about preserving the relationship? Or are you going to run to the defense and honor of your wife?
Well,
right? And should we not hold God's name, our Lord and our Savior, His name, in much higher esteem, even more so than the people we love the most? We wouldn't dream. I mean, we think about it. You're a lover, not a fighter. I understand that. But
just say that.
It was a compliment. It was supposed to be.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, you're at you're at one of your grandkids' soccer games, and someone is maligning Sue.
Yeah.
You're going to say something.
Oh, yeah, you see something rise up in me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we should...
David was the same. He got a stone and a sling and hit him between the eyes for blaspheming the name of God.
That's
So
right.
we can take the stone of the gospel. So I'd take him through the commandments and say, do you realize you're violating the commandments? Get that stone into its place of understanding.
Yeah, speak the truth in love. I mean, you don't want to just go out there and arbitrarily try to destroy the relationship, but your love for God has to be greater than your love for anyone else.
And there's a way you can actually do that by, if he's a good coach, tell him he's a great coach and he's doing well, and just then come in with that.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we are out of time.
We are?
We are. So here's what we're going to do tomorrow. Tomorrow is November 11th of 2011. 11-11-11. So we are going to try to do something we haven't done before. We're going to try to answer 11 different questions, 11 different topics in one show on 11-11-11.
It's going to take discipline.
We'll see if we have it. Join us tomorrow. Until then, be encouraged, strengthened, and unafraid. Proclaim the gospel.
You're full of it! Living Waters presents On the Box.